Football then and now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined. Join us.
A warm welcome. This is episode 43 of Football Then and Now, and we are a part of the Sports Social Podcast Network. They have housed our content from day one, and if you've got a sports-based podcast, you can join them too. If you want to find out more about the Sports Social Podcast Network, find them on all social media platforms. And waiting in the wings is my guest, a returning guest, and after a fantastic victory for his team yesterday evening against Club Brugge, it's Mr. Brady Barlow on the show once again, and we're in 2025. How are you, Braids?
Not bad, buddy. You?
All good. So, how was that for you last night? I've got to speak about that win last night.
Well, seeing as when we played them in the group stage, well, the table stage, we lost to them there. They're a very good team at home. But last night, Emery had everything right, apart from the sloppy goal that we gave away. Mings' clearance off the line. But I think everything sort of went our way last night. Just got to do it again at our place next week.
Hell of a bit of athleticism there, as you can see. And he managed
the slightest touch, and either way, that would have done what it did or would have gone in the back of the net, but he throws himself at everything.
And there, obviously, Leon Bailey with the first goal, buried. Just brilliant, absolutely brilliant for you guys. I think, personally, one more goal at Villa Park for the return leg, and you're through to me. You know, I just think it's they're not gonna be able to do it, are they, Bruges? Surely. But what do you think? You know, with it being your club and what you've seen of Bruges, you know, playing them twice already.
I don't know, they are a good side. I mean, a lot of people say they come from a lesser league, but they're the dangerous ones. I mean, you look at the teams that have made it through to like the knockouts in the last stage. Some of them you wouldn't have expected in there. Because a lot of people wouldn't have expected us to have made it to the top 8, and like Liverpool to win it. Well, to win the league table, and Arsenal to come where they've come. And I'm not going to say anything about the draw because it is a bit dodgy that the next round we play either PSG or Liverpool. And then if Arsenal make it through, which they look like they will do because of the hammering they gave PSV last night, if they make it through their next game, so we could end up playing Liverpool. And if us or Liverpool make it through there, we could end up playing, one of us could end up playing Arsenal. Bit dodgy that one.
Totally different now, isn't it? Because you could dodge teams. You wouldn't play teams from the group stage early like this, would you? In the knockout phase, that was always part of the thing. So yeah, for you guys, that's a hell of a run. You know, to try and win the trophy, isn't it? You know, that's just crazy, absolutely crazy.
You know yourself, you got to play the best to be the best. So.
Absolutely, yeah. But fantastic last night. Marco Asensio, I've got to speak about him since he's come in. You know, you've watched more of him than I have. I've seen highlights of the games and stuff, but fantastic business in January. Fantastic business in January from you guys. Amazing. Like,
I mean, the partnership him and Rashford have formed already. I mean, it's unbelievable. Asensio, he looks like he's comfortable with everyone. He slots in where he's needed. And his experience he brings in, I mean, he won, 17 trophies at Real Madrid? And he's won trophies at PSG, but hasn't been getting the game time there. There is talk that we could get him for around 25 million in the summer, which I think would be an absolute bargain for him. For the experience he brings in, and the way he's got, 5 goals in 4 games? Or 4 goals in 5 past games, and it's just ridiculous. Some of the stuff that we've managed to do this January, I would never have thought that we would have got somebody like Asensio and Rashford to come in, personally.
Marlon as well, mate. I was like...
Marlon, Disassi.
Yeah.
I mean, even the young lad at right back, Garcia, he's come from the second Spanish league. Division 2 in Spain, I think it was, or Division 1 in Spain he's come from. And he just looks comfortable. I mean, there's a couple of little things here and there, but that comes with experience. But playing against some of the players he's played against, he just looks comfortable. And that is because what Emery installs into every player. He wants them to go out and express themselves and play as a team. There's no individuals in this team. If you try and be an individual, he's like Fergie was. No individual, squad players. He wants a team player.
They cut away to him on the bench at one point. He was throwing a wobbler. He looked so angry. I was like, God help the players. God help the players. Like, he looked angry. I was like, and he's normally pretty chilled, isn't he, to be fair? But hey, there's no messing. I just laughed when they cut away to him on the bench last night.
Well, apparently that was because of Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey didn't do what he was asked to do. But Leon Bailey's Leon Bailey. When he's on form, he is a phenomenal player. I mean, you'll know him from watching the Bundesliga.
I know him very well.
And he's an unbelievable talent. I can't believe that last night's it's his second goal this season in all competitions. But he's had that many injuries, but he's that good of a talent. You just let him get on with it, sort of thing. I mean, but like Rashford, he'd done not a lot for United in the past 18 months, 2 years. He's come to us. He's playing with a smile on his face, a skip in his step. He's got, I think it's 4 assists in the past 5 games. And we can get him for 40 million in the summer.
The buyout's very, very good. I noticed when they was reading that when that deal was going through, it was like 40 million. It's a pittance, really, isn't it? You know, if you can get him playing as you have been.
That's the thing. I've been having like some arguments with some of my mates who are United fans in work and things, and they're like, "Oh well, United. If he plays well for you and he gets goals and he gets assists and gets back into England, United will ask you for more money." They can't. Same if another team comes in with another bit, they can't, because we've got the option to buy at 40 million. Whether United get a higher bid or not, regardless, it's only if we turn around and say, if Marcus Rashford says to us, I really want to go and play for, say, Barcelona, they've come in with the same, Villa will say, well, no, you're coming to us. And if you do that, and he's got his heart set on Barcelona, you know yourself, you've seen players over the years who don't want to be there. They don't want to be at a certain club. And it can mess it all up. So Villa have got a very good team in place to determine whether he'd want to stay with us or if he'd want to go somewhere else. So we could buy him if we wanted to buy him for the 40 million, but if we don't think it's going to work for Villa, then we'll let him go. Because if we can attract Marcus Rashford and Asensio and players like that because of the team we've got and the manager we've got, who says we can't go and get somebody who might be better than Rashford or Asensio? But yeah, last night it set us up perfect.
Absolutely.
And I'd probably say I'd agree with 1 goal would see us comfortable, 2 would guarantee it. And I think Club Brugge coming to our place, the players will be on a high because of playing in front of the lights at Villa Park on another Champions League evening. I think it could be a bit too much for Bruges because they've got to come from 2 down, really, just to tie it. So they're going to be pushing for it, but we could sit back and play through it. We've got the players to do it.
Imagine the away goals rule was in place. Now, you know, I know it's not anymore. But
No.
imagine you're in a great spot anyway. You've got that
Yeah.
two goal advantage, but fantastic. And it's going to be electric at Villa Park as it has been all season. The atmosphere has been
Yeah.
superb. So, yeah, very much looking forward to the second leg. And hopefully you've got PSG or Liverpool in the next round. So we look forward to that. I'm just going to move us along because of time constraints. I just want to focus on Forest City first. Then we will go to Brentford Villa when we've covered Forest City. Obviously, third place taking on fourth, but it's so tight down the table for fourth place, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you look down the table. But
Yeah.
how do you feel? How do you feel with this one? I mean, Forest will give them a game, won't they?
I can see City doing it. Forest, they've been good all the way through the season. For me, apart from everybody will say Liverpool have been the better team this season. I'd say at the moment, if the season finished now, I'd give best team of the season to Forest. Because Liverpool, they've been good and they've been consistent, but Arsenal haven't been on form. City haven't. Chelsea haven't. A lot of teams have. So they've just been doing it. Liverpool have done it consistently. But City always find a way. And I think Forest, the past few games, they've looked a bit shaky. They haven't picked up results where you'd think they would have done it first half of the season. I think they're still playing well, but I think some legs are starting to go a little bit. They're not performing like they were first half of the season, so I can see City doing it. I can see a win for City there.
Win for City on that one. Do you know, very, very quickly, actually, we'll go with Brighton, Fulham, because if I just pull the table up, that's 8th taking on 9th, and there's only a point difference there. Again, they're in the hunt for the top 4. When you look down that table, you know, they're both, they've been brilliant. We've spoken about Bournemouth previously, but I think Brighton and Fulham as well, they've been really, really good. They've been really good. But that's another game this weekend. There's huge permutations on that one, Brady. It's going to be a fantastic game. Both teams in great form, of course. Brighton dropped off a little bit, and I thought, oh, this could be coming away. But Hürsler has gotten back in, and they've been firing. Minter's been fantastic, hasn't he? Matoma's hit that form that he hit a couple of years ago, where he was just consistently doing it. And Danny Welbeck, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? A mate of mine, I'd have him back at United tomorrow. He's been brilliant.
I saw a stat on Welbeck the other day. It's the first time since he's left United he's scored more than 6 or more goals in a Premier League season. And you think of where he's played after United, like he went to Arsenal. I was like, surely he got more than 6 goals at Arsenal in a season. But he hasn't, and he seems to have found some form because the other players have sort of picked up their game, and he's been boosted back up the pecking order with Evan Ferguson going out on loan. He's sort of got a bit more confidence playing, and for me personally, I'd love a draw. I'd love them to draw with us being same points as Fulham and a point behind Brighton. I'd love it to be a draw. I'd probably edge it to Brighton over Fulham at the moment, but it'll be a very good game. It'll be end to end. I can see Brighton maybe nudging it, if not, it'd be a draw.
It. Yeah. I'm going to go for a Desmond on that. I'm going to go for a 2-2. I've been very impressed with Sander Berge and Lukic as well. Sasa Lukic in the middle. They've been very good in the centre. You know, you talk about the attacking players, don't you? We always look at the attacking players, but I like the workman-like players in the centre. Them two have been brilliant. I watched Sander Berge quite intently against United in the Cup. And he was brilliant. You know, he's been around a little bit, hasn't he? Sheffield United, Burnley. Yeah. He's learned his craft. He looks brilliant. And they lost Paulinho. Yeah. They lost Paulinho in the summer, didn't they, as well? He was instrumental in the centre, pulling the strings. But I've got a Desmond. I'll go for a 2-2 on that one, mate. That's what I'm going to go for. I'm ripping Stan Collymore there on TalkSport, I'm afraid.
I go 1-1 or I go 2-1 Brighton.
There we have it. And then you boys, just as we close out on the episode, because we're a bit pushed for time, Brentford away, and Everton, obviously, last game they played was away at Brentford. We got a point. Brentford have not won at home since December. They had a fantastic early season form at home, and they were terrible away. It's reversed now. They're getting the points away, but they're not. They've not been able to do it at home. But I think I've got you guys edging that. I think you'll beat them just the way you've been playing. But again,
Yeah, but the problem with us is we have the Champions League curse. We've lost, I think it's every game after a Champions League game, or nearly every game. And going to Brentford, you never know what could happen there. I mean, we're on a high at the moment. All the players are playing out of their skin at the moment. I mean, we've got players coming back. I mean, you talk about players in the midfield that just silently go around applying their craft. All the strikers and wingers get all the praise and everything. You look at Kamara for Villa. He has been arguably our player of the season. He's just sits in that midfield in front of the back four and just does a job. And I think with him coming back and some of the other players we've got coming back, I can see us edging it. I'd go 3-1 Villa.
Oh, you all going for a Villa win then? You've turned there.
I'm going for a Villa win.
You've been going through the motions there. Hold on a minute. Right, yeah, I'm with you. I was going to say 2-1. Damsgaard, just on Brentford briefly, just before we go. He's been brilliant. He's been brilliant. He was great against us last week.
I remember seeing, I can't remember who it was. It was another podcast. It might have been Ben Foster's podcast. And they were talking about it. And they were saying that Brentford brought in, I can't remember his name. They brought him in the summer to basically take the place of Damsgaard. And Damsgaard stepped his game right up in training and everything. And he hasn't been able to be shifted. I mean, I've had him in my fantasy football team all season, and he's been unbelievable, picking up the points, but he's been quietly doing a job. Everybody talks about the strikers, and he's been mentioned now and again, but he's been phenomenal for them.
Flecken being back as well, because he was out for some games. Yeah. He's major for them. I mean, again, Beto could have had a hat-trick in that game quite easily. Just wasn't at the races, but he's been great. I slated him under Dyche, and look at him now, but Flecken was good in goal.
Great bit of business for you lot in January, bringing Beto in.
Turned, hasn't it? Now it's absolutely turned. As he's not Premier League standard. I said it. I said me and Chris were a bit like, no, it's not going to work. And then, like you say, with Rashford, a different manager, and it all changes. The whole thing changes. The style, the confidence, play with a smile on your face. So, yeah.
Some of the highlights I've seen for you lot, and just some of the stuff that you look at how he was under Dyche, which wasn't Dyche's fault. It was just the way that he plays his game. And then you look at how Beto's been under Moyes, and it's because Moyes plays more of an attacking game, he's free to apply his craft. And you look at some of the touches that he's doing now that he would never have done under Dyche. And he runs for everything. I watched, who were you playing? You were playing a game a couple of weeks ago, and literally, I was watching him. I thought he's like a kid playing football in the park. He's just playing with a massive smile on his face.
It might have been United. It may have been United.
Yeah. But he's just playing with a massive smile on his face.
It's crazy how much of a difference there is.
Everything he touches seems to turn to gold
Absolutely.
for him at the moment.
Absolutely. This has obviously been a brief episode with you. Normally we have you on longer, so obviously we'll have you on leading into the the tail end of the season.
Yeah.
Now it's the last couple of months, and it's going to be interesting. And all the best to Villa. In the meantime, let's hope you can get past PSG and Liverpool. Once you get past Bruges, of course, I know you're not overlooking Bruges, and then it's been brilliant. A lot of extra games for Villa. It's, as you've said, but he's brought depth. He's brought depth to the squad. Absolutely, as Unai. And just thank you for coming on again, man. Such short notice as well.
No worries.
No problem. And we'll just go to our sponsor before we close out here. We won't get a copyright strike for that one, Brady. I made sure of that, because if I put the official one on, that would have been it. We'd have got a slap on the hand. That's trademark, so I've knocked that one up. It's a cover. We can't be done. And we will see you very, very soon for episode 44. And it is with Spurs fan and returning guest for his first appearance of 2025, John Scott. He will be previewing AZ Alkmaar against Spurs. Spurs obviously took them on in the group stage, beat them 1-0. And we'll look ahead to some of the Sunday fixtures. I've gone through some of the Saturday ones there with Brady. Brady, thank you very, very much for coming on, mate. And all the best for the rest of the season with Villa. And we'll see you tomorrow for episode 44 of the show. Take care, everybody.
Football, then and now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined. Join us.